Hi, I'm Michelle and welcome to Unicorn and Centaur, my YouTube channel dedicated to equestrian fitness. Today's video is all about how I lost 100 pounds. First of all, disclaimer. I am only telling my story. This video is not intended as a step-by-step guide to weight loss, nor is it intended to shame anyone who has tried and failed at weight loss. I spent about 35 years trying to lose weight and failing, so I'm just telling you the story of how I finally succeeded. In the spring of 2020, I was at a low point in my life in terms of health. I was pre-diabetic, I was deficient in several nutrients, and struggling daily with severe anxiety and bipolar depression. I cried and had breakdowns every single day. My mental illnesses were so severe at this point that I only felt safe driving to go see my horses about once a week. I only slept about 4 to 5 hours a night at this point because I spent the day pounding caffeine and eating large quantities of sugary snack foods, like entire boxes of Little Debbie honey buns. I am not exaggerating. I was binge eating until I would pass out from a sugar crash and then wake up starving and just repeat the cycle. This pattern of eating and sleeping was not supporting my mental and physical health. I was medicated for anxiety and depression at this time, but the medications I was on didn't seem to be really helping, maybe because my habits and lifestyle were fighting the medications. I don't know. Obviously the medication wasn't helping. So at some point I wondered if my lifestyle was holding me back. I wondered how much I could change about my mental and physical health if I really did all the things conventional wisdom tells you to do, like get some exercise and stay hydrated and get a good amount of sleep and eat good foods, blah, blah, blah. Like, how much of an impact would this have on me really? So I kind of decided to do an experiment on myself. The first thing I did was sort out my sleep schedule. I was drinking caffeine and staying up until like 3 o'clock in the morning every single day, then crashing for a couple of hours, getting up at 6 or 7 in the morning. And then of course by mid-afternoon I was exhausted and I would have to lay down for a nap if I had time for one. I was exhausted all the time. So I decided to spend a few weeks catching up on sleep. I set my wake up alarm for about 6 a.m. So every morning I got up at the same time and I put myself to bed by 9 p.m. every single day. Sometimes sooner. Yes, I missed some time with my husband and my kid. Yes, I had to say no to some things and some events. And yes, I had to rearrange my schedule to accommodate this amount of sleep. But I knew I wasn't going to be sleeping 8 to 10 hours for the rest of my life. I considered it a mini vacation of sorts. Or like time spent at a spa. Or as though I was being hospitalized for exhaustion, which, to be honest, I probably needed at that point. The results of getting enough sleep were dramatic. I cannot state this enough without changing anything else in my life except the amount of sleep that I was getting. My anxiety drastically reduced, noticeably reduced. Yes, I was still having panic attacks, but I was no longer having at least one breakdown every single day. Yes, it was difficult to go to sleep on this timeline at first, but my body quickly realized the gift it was being given and I adjusted. I slept hard. A lot. My body needed it so badly. I had no idea. So after 2 to 3 weeks of this, I cut back to a more normal 7 to 8 hours per night kind of a schedule. But I still made sure I got that. And I protected my sleep schedule like my life depended on it, because it kind of did. I made it priority number 1. Now, I realize that there are some people who are on medications that prevent them from getting a good night's sleep, or who have medical conditions that prevent that as well, or severe insomnia. And this prevents them from falling asleep altogether or getting good quality sleep. If this is you, I would encourage you to talk to your doctor about ways to improve this and to get better quality sleep. How can you accomplish this in your life? Just a thought, because if it helps you even half as much as it helped me, you will be reaping major rewards. Technically, I was not dehydrated, but at this point, all I was doing was drinking coffee all morning and then Diet Dr. Pepper for the rest of the day until 3 o'clock in the morning. I seriously had like 4 to 6 cans of soda a day. And because I was trying to get to bed earlier now, I knew I had to cut back on that, or at least work on like getting some real water into my body. So I made hydration a priority. That was my next step. I got a reusable water bottle and I made sure to keep that filled and have at least 4 to 6 of those every single day. One of the things I was dealing with in the spring of 2020 was a vitamin D deficiency. At this time, my anxiety was so bad that I was only getting out to the barn about once a week to see my horses, and that was literally my only outdoor time all week long. I got sunshine on my face once a week. That's it. Plus my diet was deficient in nutrients, so of course I was deficient in vitamin D. So after sorting out my sleep schedule and getting hydrated, the next thing I focused on was getting sunshine every single day. I made it a priority to go outside for at least 15 minutes and get sunshine on my face and my arms, soaking up some nature. At first I was just sitting outside in my backyard with my chickens for 15 minutes a day, just like doing nothing and sitting there, but eventually this led to the next step. So at this point I was rested, I was hydrated, I was getting some sunshine every single day. I was already feeling better. Reducing my anxiety and feeling rested really cleared up a lot of mental space, and my brain was finally able to focus on the next step. Instead of just sitting outside, what if I went for a walk? I was finally well enough to be able to exercise, even if just for a little bit. I started going for 30-minute walks every morning at dawn. Now, I'm not talking serious workouts. I didn't lace up some running shoes or even put on a sports bra. I literally rolled out of bed, slid on some old flip-flops, and left my house in my jammies. I put a timer on my phone for 15 minutes and I walked for 15 minutes, and when the timer went off, I turned around and came home. Total walk time, 30 minutes. Yes, in my jammies. I had no idea what the neighbors thought. I went very slowly at first, like shuffling, but I was moving, I was breathing, I was enjoying the sunrises. It felt good. So this was a month or two into my self-care path. This journey of building good habits for myself to see where it would take me. And it was another couple of months of building my physical activity, doing the walking. So without meaning to, I grew stronger. I started walking faster, naturally. I began going longer and longer. My 30-minute walk turned into a 40-minute walk, into a 45-minute walk, 50 minutes, until finally I was walking like an hour every morning. I started wearing real running shoes and put on sweatpants and a sports bra. It was feeling like real exercise at this point, and it started reawakening my love of working out. I realized I was getting sad on rainy days when I couldn't go out for my walk. And then I started looking for workout videos on YouTube. Before I knew it, I had created a habit of getting up in the morning, putting on workout clothes, and going to exercise. So about 6 months into this whole thing, again, this is not a 28-day transformation or a weekend thing. This took me a long time to do. So finally, about 6 months into this whole thing, I realized I wanted to start running again. I got excited. I downloaded a Couch to 5K app and I got started. But I kept pulling muscles. Like I'd pull muscles in my calf or my hamstring. My knees kept hurting. There was pain in my ankles and my feet. This would all sideline my progress and keep me at a walk, and I was so frustrated. It was then that I realized I needed to move on to the next and final step. I was feeling better than ever, and I could have stopped here, but I wanted to take things even farther. I wanted to run again. I wanted to go back to Taekwondo class. I was going to the barn 2 to 3 times per week at this point because my mental health was getting better, and I wanted to ride more and to ride longer and to ride better. I knew that I was going to have to try and lose some weight to make this happen. Ugh. I had lost weight before, several times, but every time I got down to about 180 pounds, I would injure myself or something else would change in my life, and then the weight would creep back on and then some. So I had to mentally prepare myself for this struggle again. I had to mourn the fact that I was going to be giving up binging on sweets and sugary treats. But I decided to try again. And I made a plan a little bit differently than anything I had done before. So since I was pre-diabetic, one of the things I decided to do was time my meals throughout the day. I set alarms on my phone for meal times and I only ate at those meal times. This was the first food related habit that I started. Now, at first I did not restrict calories or think about dieting at all. I simply ate 5 times a day and not at any other times. And at this point I was still indulging in a lot of snack foods, but I only ate them at the assigned meal times. This actually dramatically improved my moods, since what I was doing was regulating my blood sugar. Eating at definite intervals assured me of not crashing and burning and then binging. I was able to sustain this habit of eating at regular meals and snack times. So once that habit was firmly established, I decided to take it a little bit further. I started logging my meals and planning them out, a food diary and food planning. I used the app MyFitnessPal to track my food and calories, everything I ate pretty much. I had used this app before and it's pretty easy to use once you get everything figured out. There is kind of a learning curve, but once you get over that, it's totally easy. You enter all your data into the app and it calculates your daily calories based on your goals and the data you enter. So every night I would spend a few minutes on the app entering my meals and snacks for the next day. I would base my plan on what was available in the house to eat as well as what I was going to be doing the next day. Like if I'm going to be sitting at home all day, my meals are going to be different than if I'm going to the barn and I have to pack food to go with me. So this way, planning them the night before, my meals were all planned out and I could stick to that easier than just winging it. I've done that before and I usually run out of calories by lunchtime. Ugh. I also pulled out my trusty food scale and began weighing and measuring all the food that I was eating for portion control purposes. Because y'all, I cannot trust myself to eyeball one portion of chips, okay? Or mac and cheese, or pasta. I will pile it all on and be like, oh yeah, that's totally 100 calories. Now, I didn't restrict any food groups or macros or anything like that, just calories. I didn't cut out sugary snacks, I just fit them into my daily plan, if I wanted them, using my food scale for portion control. I didn't cut carbs or fat or anything like that, I just ate whatever I wanted and made sure it fit into my daily calorie goal. This means I ate whatever I wanted, just a lot less than I used to, or what I wanted to. So sticking to that plan, meal planning, meal timing, logging my food, using a food scale to determine portion sizes, it all got to be a habit. And so I just stuck to it for over a year. And by Christmas time of 2021, I had lost 100 pounds. For me, this was not about being a smaller size, or being thin, or even about perfect health, because that doesn't exist. This was about trying my best to create and sustain healthier habits for myself, to see what would result. And the results? I am no longer pre-diabetic. I no longer require medication for bipolar depression and anxiety. I no longer cry and have breakdowns every day. I can't remember the last time I had a panic attack. I am running again. I am back in Taekwondo class and kicking it. Got my 3rd degree black belt just recently. Thank you. I went from riding my horses for 10 minutes at a time at a walk to trail riding for over an hour and to trotting for up to 30 minutes at a time without getting out of breath. My family has noticed as well. This has not only improved my mental and physical health, but me getting better has had effects on my husband and my son. Not only are they now experiencing less anxiety, but they've both gotten into working out as well. Our living room is now a home gym with a couch in it. I just turned 50 years old and I am in the best shape of my entire life, mentally and physically. I am so happy I decided to experiment on myself. Now, if you are seeing the results of my work and thinking, hey, I want to do that too, I would absolutely encourage anyone out there to make positive changes in your habits. But you don't have to do exactly what I did. We are different people with different bodies and brains, different goals and different abilities. Talk to your doctor, talk to your therapist, talk to trusted family members, get help and support. I had help and support from a counselor and from my family members. I did not do this by myself. So work out what you need to do in your life to improve your health and your circumstances. Come up with a plan and implement it slowly. Be kind to yourself in the process. And remember, if you fall off the horse, you just get right back on. Thank you for watching my video today. Thank you for being interested in my story. A special thank you to my Patreon supporters. If you'd like to support the content that I create here on YouTube, you can find a link in the description box below this video to sign up for the Patreon. And you can find the names of all my amazing Patreon supporters in the credits of this video starting now. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you have a magical day.